Okay, so earlier I applied some pretty rigid quantization and timing to this drum loop, but now I want to introduce an element of imperfection to it. So using the random parameter can make things have a little less of a rigid or mechanical feel to them. So here I've duplicated the drum loop and added a 12% random value to it. So listening to it, the randomization is hardly noticeable, but if I zoom in on the two waveforms, it's possible to see that the sounds in the affected loop have shifted away slightly from their original positions. So this can be good for adding a bit of subtle movement to very static loops. Okay, again, here's the drum loop, and again, I've applied the Logic 8 Swing 70 groove file to it, but set the random and velocity values to 0, so it's just the quantization and timing that's been applied to the clip. And this is a copy of the drum loop, but with a plus 44% velocity value applied to it. In the original drum loop, the clip's volume envelope sits at the top at 100%, but the duplicate clip's volume is now responding to the velocity information from the groove file. And just to make things clear, here's how the velocity information looks from the groove file. And here's how the two clips compare. The first hit has been lowered in volume. Part of the tail of the first hit has been slightly lowered. Hit 3 has been lowered in volume. There's nothing really happening at positions 4 and 5. Hit 6 is now louder. 7 is quieter, and 8 is louder. It's also possible to apply negative velocity values to a clip. So here's how a minus 44% value looks in the drum loop's clip volume. So I'll play the 3 clips, but as the velocity values affected the overall volume of the loops by quite a lot, then I balanced them out a bit so that it's easier to hear how the velocity from the groove file affected the loops. Okay, applying grooves to more than one clip can help tighten up and glue sounds together. So again, here's the drum loop, and it's back in its original state with no groove file applied to it. And there's a pretty loose piano loop playing with it as well. So I'll apply the Logic 8 Swing 70 groove file to both clips with some tweaks to the quantization and random values. And I'll just play them again. Okay, you can hear how that really tightens things up. So once a groove file has been applied to a clip, then the global amount parameter can also be accessed at the top of the Ableton GUI. And the global amount adjusts how strongly the groove files will affect the timing, random, and velocity values in the clips. So here I'll play 2 clips with no groove file applied, and then 2 clips with groove file applied. And the global value is set to 0, but you can still hear a change in how the loops with the groove file applied sound, because even at a 0% global value, any quantization values in the groove file will still influence the clips. But as I said, the timing, random, and velocity are unaffected. Okay, so at 0% global, any values for the timing, random, and velocity are unaffected, and at 100% the clips will be fully affected. And it's possible to push this value up to 130% so you can get some really exaggerated or creative groove effects.